I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Trustee Dunn is joining us on virtual. There we go. That sounds good. Let's go to public comments.
Ken, prayer.
Thank you. I'd like to pray over the schools in the meeting tonight, if I may. Father, I thank you for our schools, our teachers, administrators, and students. As we head into a new year and 2 new school districts, I pray that you would be intimately involved in all their pursuits. I pray that if the flood of perversion and mental illness which seems to cover the nation finds its way here, that there would be people who would raise up the standard of God, of righteousness and purity and healing. I pray the students would be protected by Almighty God from the evils currently at work, and instead would themselves be filled with the Holy Spirit and fire. I pray that in this meeting the kingdom of light would be known and present to defeat the kingdom of darkness. I pray that you would be found in every classroom, meeting room, restroom, playground, and hallway of these schools, watching over our most precious inheritance with your presence over them like a banner of love. And I pray it all in the name above all names, Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Rose, letter from Moms for Liberty.
My name is Rose Pogue, and I'm the membership director of the new chapter of Moms for Liberty. And I'm just wondering about the letter from November 6th about the policy making that the board and the superintendent need to work together on for kindergarten through 12th grade regarding sexual orientation instruction and gender identity instruction. If you know anything about that policy or something, I'd like to remind you. I know you're all very busy.
I actually have a letter. I'm responding to the email. Was it you that emailed me or someone else? It was someone else yesterday, Helen. Anyway, that has had its first read, the policy, before the board.
That's all.
That's it. Moving on to consent agenda. Do we have a motion to accept that?
I move that we accept the consent agenda.
I second it.
That's one. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Moving on to reports. Superintendent report.
Okay, my theme for the year is if what I'm doing to ensure our mission of educational excellence, what am I doing daily to ensure our mission of educational excellence for all? And if what I'm doing doesn't positively impact student learning, I need to reframe my work. So goal 1 is to plan and execute deconsolidation. I have a staffing proposal for both districts tonight. It's really important to understand that that's a staffing proposal based on December of 2025. There are lots of things that will make a difference in that staffing as we move forward. One of those things will be what the state decides to fund us at, and we'll talk a little bit later about how funding units work, and if there are any holdbacks will make a difference, and then of course the candidates that you have, the applicants that you have, and making sure that you have positions, the people who are best fit for the positions. So we begin, I have a proposal tonight that's just the beginning. Mission vision plan is working, and the principals are doing that. Both of the principals in the 2 communities are working with a board member to move forward with that, and in constant communication with the State Department. Interesting little story from last week. I get a phone call from one of the departments, and she said, "Where did you get these numbers?" And I said, "Numbers?" Well, she said 245 and 246, and I just immediately like, well, 224, the 240s series is Idaho County in Idaho, and 241 was the original Grangeville School District when Riggins was involved, and 242 is Cottonwood, and then when they deconsolidated, Riggins became 243, and Mountain View became 244, and so deconsolidation, Clearwater Valley's alphabetical order first, so they're 245, and Grangeville's 246, and I said, and she said, "But who told you that?" And I had this moment of, I know I didn't just make it up. And so, but that was the day that I wasn't in my office, and I got back to my office the next day, and I pulled out the folder, and I had notes, I had the name of the person, I had the date, I sent all that to the State Department, and we're fine. But it did give me a moment. And thank goodness I had good notes that day. Finding avenues to improve patron relationships and increase transparency. We have the new added statement about how the board works and how this is a meeting in public. And we are working on some, I'm working with Lori Palmer at the Free Press for some articles, newspaper articles, and then some social media posts. And then building pride in our schools. I don't know if you've been to any of the Christmas programs yet, but they're amazing. I didn't get to go to CVE's today, but I heard it was phenomenal. I'm looking for video. If anybody has video, please share it with me. I only got to see pictures and hear stories. And then our calendar this year put the end of the semester today before Christmas break. And so I love that. The kids go away for their 2 weeks and the semester's buttoned up and put away. They don't have to come back and try to hurry up to get through finals. So super excited about that, and I'm hoping the kids feel that same way as well. Staff recognition. I would like to recognize Michael, our transportation department, and all of the leadership team. Yesterday's windy day, wow, a lot of moving parts. Already earlier in the week, we had talked about the speed of the wind and how fast it was and buses not being safe out there. And so Grangeville had canceled 3 routes before yesterday ever, because we knew in the morning the buses wouldn't be safe at those wind speeds. And so we had that already in place. Transportation was communicating with me and communicating with the state about what are the safe numbers for wind gusts and buses. And then yesterday morning, when the 2-hour delay was decided, looking at the wind charts, it looked like by 8 o'clock or 8:30 the wind was supposed to be passed. So we decided to go with the 2-hour delay, but power was out, internet was out. Michael, help me! And so he worked his magic. I don't know where he pulls this stuff out, but he worked his magic and got the parent square sent out and people notified. It was phenomenal. And then the leadership team helping with the decision to move to a full day out. So I'm hearing from the leadership team, this highway is closed because the tree's down, and this area's got power, this one doesn't. And so it's really, they're spread out across the district, so I get a good picture of the entire district. And so then, unfortunately, we did end up having to cancel, but I think it's what was best for kids. And the makeup day will be February 20th for that. And so I want to just shout out again to Michael, transportation team, and the leadership team for helping. That's not an easy call. I don't know how many, if any of you have ever had the opportunity to make a snow day call. It's not easy, because if you say no school, there are kids at home that maybe can't have parents there because parents still have to work. But if you say there is school, you're also thinking about kids in and driving. Some of them are driving, and we have buses, and so either way, it's a tough call. And so I appreciated the leadership team and all of them for helping with that.
Good. Financial report. Connie?
Okay, so I found thank you. So I found the report I needed to give you numbers for each of the schools, on average, so far we've spent $3,189 per student, about a little over $2,700 on Grangeville students, almost $5,000 per Elk City student, and a little over $4,300 per student in Clearwater Valley. Oops. Did I make that a little bit smaller? There. Okay, as you can see, we've started to get some of our funding from the state. So we're at 62% of our funding for our revenue sources. Okay, on to our expenses. So we're doing really good. We're like 5 months into the year, and we're at 24% for certified. We're in 35, 32, about 30% is where we should be right now. And then what I really wanted to talk about Okay, last night at 7 o'clock, I just got the email from the state that we got our Title I and Title IV and Title II funding. So we did get those funds. So they should be coming soon.
Is it the amount that we were expecting?
Yes, it's our grant. We got the grant. It was approved back in October, but they reallocated some money, so we had to rework our budget. And we were just waiting for them to approve them and send them out. And they just sent it out last night. And the way Title I funds work, or like the federal government funds, it goes to the state, and then I do what it's called a drawdown. We spend the money, and then I request reimbursement. That's the way a lot of funding. But I just wanted to go over this because a lot of people were asking me, how much is in this fund? How much is in this right here? Can you see my cursor? That's school modernization. That is how much is in that account right now. All of these, like, this is our operating, this is how much is like in the bank. So when I send this out, you can look on this page and see how much is in those accounts.
And so what are we allowed to use the school modernization fund for?
Okay, good question. The auditor told me, because we had used it for like last year, I think, repaired some bleachers, but what it's really for is big ticket items like a roof, or if you need to do an addition to your school, or a big ticket item like that. Not just $1,500 to repair the bleachers. Like if you need $50,000 to repair the roof, or that kind of thing. It's for maintenance of school buildings and grounds. That's a major ticket item. So, any questions?
You have this at the end of every monthly board report, correct?
Yes.
And it's on the website every month?
Yes.
Do you mind showing everybody where that is? Because I had somebody ask me this morning. They thought that it wasn't published on here, so. Huh? Is that what you're doing?
Your mic. I
Oh,
want people to know, yeah. Thank you.
So if you just type in sd244.org, that will take you to our district website. Click on district. Click on financials. I think this is where, this is new, so I have to.
it's,
Oh, this is my expenditures report.
I think
So,
it's under board. I think
It's on my
under
board
trust-
report, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I just looked at it today, that's why I was like,
So go to Board of Trustees.
I think it's still under financial.
Or it's under financials still, but it's.
Oh, it is?
back-
It's
go
just
back
not
in.
expenditure.
yeah,
It's
go back to
not-
financials. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Financials again, I think.
I'm on, oh.
And then.
Oh, right there,
Yeah.
sorry.
Board reports.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See? So, sd244.org. It'll take you right to our website.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, moving on to special education. Mr. Kenny?
Special ed.
No.
Yeah.
Good evening. If you got my report, I said there was something attached, which is not, because when I tried to attach it, I realized it took up like 18 pages, and it didn't really give you any detail unless I gave information that shouldn't have, like identifiable student information. So I apologize that it says attached and it isn't. Just an update, we're currently, I put it in here, 180 students that we are serving in 8 different locations. One thing I wanted to bring to the board's attention is that next year, however it looks, we will probably need to have 2.5 to 3 full-time speech language pathologists that are virtual. Because when our current SLP retires after 38 years. She's done nothing but wonderful things for our district. We are going to have to hire, so just when you're thinking about it, however that's going to break down, but it's going to be more. We could have a miracle, and we could get on-site SLP that applies. We haven't had anyone apply in like 5 years, but, you know, it could happen. Another thing that I wanted to just bring to your attention, our current virtual occupational therapist is leaving. She had actually left the previous virtual company to come with us with the new one, and another opportunity came up. So we are in the process of working with our third party that provides it. We're trying to find OT services. So we have 27 kids currently that receive OT services in a varying amounts. So just another, so if somebody says, hey, we're going to try not to miss anything, but the reality of trying to hire someone mid-December is a little harder. So that. And then we are successfully, I did put an amount for our first month for you guys, that we have now successfully been getting our Medicaid billing submitted. People know I send out emails all the time about it, so that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions for me or anything that I could answer for you?
You said how many places does special ed service?
8 locations, if you count the 4 buildings plus Head Start, plus we have a couple of daycares that we are servicing as well.
And St. Peter and Paul.
Pardon me?
St. Peter and Paul.
And St. Peter and Paul, sorry, yeah.
Do we know what that'll look like with House Bill 93?
What it looks like as far as people coming in, or?
Well, like, we can't service people that are getting the tax write-off, so how does that work? Like,
so if they want testing services and they come in and specifically request it, we're required to test them. And then if they qualify for special education services, we would prepare an IEP or a service plan wherever they work. But if they're not our student, other than the private, the St. Peter and Paul, we have to service, and the daycares. But anybody else that was doing that, we do not have to service, but we would be ready to service if they came to our school, if they were enrolled in our school.
but
So we have to
how
test
will
them.
we be able to service them if they're going to use the tax deduction? St. Peter and Paul.
St. Peter and Paul is different because we receive the IDEA grant, and it's a pretty substantial amount of SPED. And because we receive that grant, we are obligated to serve any public school within our district. So we have to
Private
serve.
school.
If there was another high school in Grangeville and that didn't do that, we would still have to service them as well.
A private school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's no way for a parent, they don't have to prove that or they don't have to show any evidence that they're collecting money from the.
Yeah, we wouldn't ask that. I
We
don't know
can't.
who would be monitoring that, but that, if they come to us and ask for us to test, we test. But
Who's
if
going
they,
to cover that expense?
we do.
Through the IDEA grant?
That grant doesn't cover,
Through our
It-
general fund,
Okay, so the local taxpayers are
local
going to be paying
local
for it?
taxpayers.
yes.
And then those parents can submit that $5,000 reimbursement.
I
And
don't
how will the
know.
state not know that they got public services?
Because they wouldn't get services.
Only get
As-
an evaluation.
Testing and evaluation isn't counted as a service
Okay.
unless they actually do say, we want to receive SPED services, but we will not service them at home.
And will we have to report that to the state tax commission? That we've,
I don't really know the
Right.
details. It seems a little murky on who's supposed to be accountable or doing that.
They're making that plane while they're flying it.
Yeah.
okay, because in the bill, it specifically says they cannot use any public services if they're gonna,
And the
Receive that.
problem, right, is in order for us to do an evaluation, we have to enroll them, even if it's for one day. They have to have a student ID number, or we can't complete the assessments with our stuff. So they could enroll in one day and we could do testing, which is not gonna happen in one day. But I'm not sure, because as Superintendent Polhaus just said, they're kind of making it up as they go along. But as far as I've been notified, the district is not responsible for reporting that to the tax commission. I don't know who is, but as far as I know, we're not.
I think that most recently I've heard that there's an attestation that the taxpayer will have to sign when they do their taxes if they get that. If they get the money, then they have to sign a thing that says that they're not using any public education facilities.
and so same with busing, that's kind of irrelevant to the special ed thing, but at some point, we do need to talk about our busing contract with Saints Peter and Paul as well.
And my understanding is we won't be able to change that. We'll still have to offer them, because we can't ask patrons, we can't ask anybody, do you take this money or not?
Right.
And so we have to make ourselves available to transport their students. And then those families have to self-select out if they're taking that.
Okay.
Again, there's supposed to be further guidance from the state in January. I guess we'll see.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to business. Potential open meeting law violation. You guys were here last time, we kind of tiptoed around this. I need to read a legal statement here. Whereas a concern has been raised that members of the district's board may have engaged in discussion and deliberation regarding district business, including but not limited to classified personnel actions, and thereafter that such matters were on the agenda for the board, though the board took no action. And whereas the board's review of this matter demonstrates that while the district did otherwise properly post its meeting notice and agenda, and properly did not take action on matters that had been raised as an open meeting law violation concern, I hereby move that the Board of Trustees self-recognize a violation of the Open Meeting Act through such discussion and deliberation of board members outside of a board meeting setting pursuant to Idaho Code. Further, as the board took no action relating to such personal matters during the meeting of November 20th, 2025, there is no need to revisit the agenda matter of the board. If or when the board revisits such matters, it will assure that such is done in full compliance with the open meeting law of the state of Idaho, and that any individual that should not be participating in such meeting will be excused from such subject matter. There we go. So we had a potential open meeting law violation, but we didn't take any action, and we're okay, but we just needed to.
Because we were told not to,
Yeah, luckily that
which was good advising.
the county prosecutor steered us in the right direction, so.
That's an action.
I need a motion.
So I need a motion, and that motion was, oh gosh, what was it?
I just need to do a motion
To recognize
accept
that?
the cure.
I make a motion to accept the care of the violation of the open meeting law.
I second. All in favor? Aye. Yep. Consolidation, what does that mean?
Okay. Deconsolidation, as we're moving along, again, tonight we're talking about staffing. Michael is working on a technology plan. For instance, we have selected a student database program. We're not there with a program for the financial side of the district, and those may look different for both districts based on the size when we get to that portion. So, and then the district numbers for the state, and then also working on those revenues. The reason that the numbers were brought up is the state is having to clarify their procedures about how they will allocate money to us. So earlier when Connie was talking about the title funds, we're a Mountain View School District, and so they have the formula that they use for our students, and they're in the process now of developing their procedures for sending a check anything after July 1st to the Clearwater Valley School District or the Grangeville School District. So moving along, and again, if you're looking at this in your packet each month, if there's something that you think should be on there, patrons, if somebody thinks there should be something that's on there, or they need me to translate, I can't think of everything. I need group thought. And so if there's something that should be on there, please tell me so we can get it on there. Deconsolidation hasn't been done in Idaho since 2006, and that was us too. There is not a roadmap. There is not a plan for it. There's not even Idaho code that covers it well. So we're building the plane as we fly it as well. And so I'd like all the pilots we can get.
Good. Moving on to location of district office.
Okay, and
So I'm gonna turn that over to you.
Okay.
okay. So the recommendation that I made at the last meeting, and I've been asked to have it placed back on the board agenda, is these rooms right behind us. This room if you're facing the right, this room on the right, these windows would be filled in with like bulletin board material or maybe even sheetrock because of confidentiality. This would be the superintendent's office and then a meeting room area, a table so that the superintendent could meet with leadership team or meet with parents or whoever. That's why you fill in the windows for the confidentiality. And then this room that's beside it, there's a door in there, if you've not been in there, that would be the entrance for the receptionist, accounts payable clerk, business manager that's in the superintendent's office. Her office would be in that room, and then there'd be another secretary in there part-time. So there's room enough in there for 2 desks. And then the door to the outside would be cut as close to this wall as possible on that side, and there'd be a sloping sidewalk, 45 feet of sidewalk. I have a bid from our maintenance department. This could be done in-house with our own team. And that bid for the proposed cost for that is $6,460.35. And our maintenance supervisor, Ty, is right back there, and he believes it can be done for that price, and his team can do it and have it done prior to June 1st, because in June, if you move forward with the transformer project that's on the agenda later, we'll have some power outages here, and so it'd have to be done before June so that we wouldn't be relying on power during that time. Okay, one of the reasons it's back on the agenda is, and I should have looked at this agenda item and moved them around, is that your possible staffing, well, a couple of things. There's some people in the community who would like to use the middle school building for the office. And that's fine if you want to do that. I don't recommend that for a couple of reasons. First of all, that building isn't mothballed. It's heated a little bit, but you'd be heating a big chunk of that building at an office temperature, not 55 degrees. And so it would drive prices up every single month. And I think it would limit your opportunities to have that be a revenue source. And that building, you might not find somebody to lease it, but I think you should try. My recommendation is let's try to find somebody who can lease that and use it for a daycare, offices or something, so that you have some sort of revenue coming from a building that's just sitting empty. You may also want to use part of it for storage. I just would think for $6,000 you can put an office in here and not have to use that building and leave yourself more opportunities for revenue over there. But that is an option if that's the route you want to go. One of the things that you may want to consider in that decision is whether you will have a principal and a principal superintendent, so 2 administrators, or if you're going to have 3 administrators. And on my staffing plan that we're going to have in a few minutes, you could have either. Of course, it's going to be more tight if you have 3 administrators, and I'm going to go through how the funding for that. It's within your budget to have the 3 administrators, but it's going to be tight. If you have 2 administrators, which is what my personal recommendation is, because I'm tight, you're going to get by with that. And my concern is if you hire that administrator, if you hire a superintendent, and you get to the end of that first year and you realize, oh, that's way too tight and we can't swing that, then you're going to be asking somebody that you just hired to take a job somewhere else or take a cut in their job. My recommendation is start small, move up. But that's your decision, it's your district. So we'll talk about that in a minute. I would suggest that you table the discussion about where the office is for right now for another month or so, because we had to do our E-rate application, and we had to do our EIN application, and we use this building's address for the district office. So that's fine. We've got those done. We don't have to make the decision right now. I'm sure Ty doesn't want us to kick this can down the road too far, because if he's going to get it done before June 1st, he's going to need to know soon. But I think you're going to want to decide on your staffing before you make your decision about where your district office is going to be, whether it's going to be in this building or in the middle school, or whether you're not going to have an office because you're only going to have a principal and a principal superintendent. Is that questions about that?
So do we need to make a motion to rescind the previous decision and table it, or?
No, you just need if you decide to do that, you just need a motion to table, because it's already an agenda item, so you're okay.
Okay.
Hold up just a second. So I was contacted by a contractor that had some involvement in this. That $6,000 number was really low, right? So like just the door. I talked to Jacob's Lumber today. They just supplied a door for Kamiak. Just the door was $1,700 without any hardware attached to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
$600. Here's the bid if you want.
Yep.
$1,600 for the door, $600 for the door lock set. That's the crash bar, the emergency.
Yep.
Concrete and rebar is $1,500. Framing and drywall, $500. Paint and supplies, $200. Miscellaneous, in case you open up when you're cutting in the thing and you find electrical, you always have some $2,000. So that was a total of $6,460. And this is Ty's bid.
So just so you know what I know, the number that the person came back to me with was 20, just so you know what I know, so we can all vote, right? Was 20,000. So I understand that's the number that you're seeing, but that's why there's blowback from the community members about this construction project, right? So I'm all for tabling it until we know what our staffing is. But now you know what I know. Fair enough?
There's also the, I received a message that the shop, they might be seeking to get the science classes out of the shop building and turn the whole space back into shop space with the programs that'll be discussed. I guess there's a community information meeting January 17th. But if we have to find space for those classrooms, please, if you have information.
In January, they're discussing how they're going to use the school?
There's a meeting about the new shop program stuff.
It's the program that they went to Wisconsin to check out.
Oh, okay.
And so with that, space in the shop is an issue. And so that other building potentially they may need some of that space for classroom because of moving science classes, right? That's what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so right now.
So we're just kind of up in the air on all of that stuff.
Do we have any idea how to assess what the monthly expenditures on using the junior high building?
We could probably go back and figure out what the bills were for that building when we heated it. And we'd have to adjust those, of course, because rates have gone up since then. Even if you increase the price by $100 a month, it's going to pay off that $6,000 pretty quick.
That's what my thought process is, but I understand tabling to find out what we're doing staffing wise. Because if we put district office in here and then the principal ends up being the superintendent, well, like the letter said, why do we need 2 offices?
Well,
But
one
we
of
do
my
have other
questions-
staff.
My question would be, though, we also have to have like a sped director and federal programs and accounts payable and HR and bookkeeping, and where are they going to be?
I think,
I mean, we'll still need an office
I wish I would have
space.
switched these around. I'm going to recommend you table it for right now, and then we'll
Yeah.
talk about staffing, that'll help
Okay,
you.
because I think we still will need an office space, so, maybe.
It-
Okay,
yeah.
I agree to table it. I'm fine
I
with
will
that.
make the motion to table.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
All right, back to us. Build supplemental levy discussion.
I have 2 staffing plans there for you. And I really should have, I must have been just in the reverse order for all things with this meeting. So if you look at the second page of that document first, that's our current staffing for Grangeville schools. So at GEMS, there are 60 people, employees there, 1 administrator, 31 certified, staff certified, are teachers and counselors and nurse. And then classified staff, your paraprofessionals. At Grangeville High School, there are 26.25, 1 administrator, 17.75 certified staff, and 7.5 classified staff. District office has 9.42. They're not all 9.42 in that building, I assure you. It's just everyone who falls under my evaluations to do. So the superintendent, and you see a .72 behind that superintendent, because 28% of me is Clearwater Valley and 72% of me is Grangeville. Human resources clerk, 72%. Business manager, 72, accounts payable, 72, board clerk, .36, I figured that a half time, and then 72% of that. And then special education coordinator, 72%, federal programs coordinator, technology, you see technology on there twice because we have Michael, who is full-time employee, and 72% would be Grangeville. And then we have Bailey Schuster, who is a half-time employee, and of that, 14% is Grangeville, half of that half. Half of the quarter, excuse me. And then HVAC, these are the people who are not in the building. HVAC, maintenance, facilities, school psych, and school nurse. Okay, so we currently have 95.67 employees that are considered Grangeville employees that would be moving forward in the deconsolidation. So if you take that 48.75 certified staff, you have 2 options there. If there is a levy and the levy passes, you would remain with 48.75 staff. If we do not have a levy, we cannot afford 48 people, we would have to trim that to 41.75. What does that mean? That means our elementary classrooms, instead of being 1 to 25, 1 teacher to 25 students, would be 1 teacher to 30 students. We would lose some electives. Our middle school would go down to, the only elective would be PE, so they'd have math, science, social studies, social studies, language, and PE, a 5-period day, longer periods. Our high school would have less dual enrollment classes available to them, higher class sizes, and fewer electives. Administrator, you have, with a levy, I'm going to recommend that you have a superintendent with additional duties, because as districts get smaller, the administrators wear more hats. That's just how it works. So a superintendent with additional duties and a principal, and if there is no levy, then you have a superintendent principal and a federal programs principal. And so that reduces from 3 administrators for the district to 2.
If we were to run a levy, and you have superintendent with additional, what would be some suggestions for that additional?
Some of realignment of special education and federal programs and assessment. There's federal programs, assessment, McKinney-Vento, special education. There's a lot there. And that can be, if you go to that list under district office, some of those duties. And then classified, we have 35.5 in Grangeville. With a levy, we would still have the 35.5. Without a levy, there would be 29.5, but that's a reduction of 5 paras. And then I see I have half a secretary on there twice, because it would be half a secretary at the high school and half a secretary at the elementary school. Those two would move into the library. We wouldn't have the library person. That would be a way to keep our libraries open with limited hours, but still have an attendance clerk in there. So that person would be an attendance clerk librarian. And then the district office to go from 8.86 to 5.86. And you see that 8.86 is a reduction from the 9.42 already. With a levy, a smaller district, you have more hats, you have fewer people. So my recommendation is to go to the 8.86, without a levy to trim that to 5.86. So again, I'm going to recommend you don't make a levy decision until March. We can talk more freely when there's not a levy on the board. I don't, as soon as the board says that there's a levy, I'm limited in what I can say. I don't love that rule, because I think I should be able to be transparent always, but the state of Idaho kind of puts a muzzle on me when there's a levy vote, and so I'm going to recommend you wait until March to make that decision to run one or not. We have to have that to the county by the end of March so that it can go on the May agenda. And also, we'll know the most we can know by the end of March about what the legislature is going to do. We'll never know the whole picture before the levy, because the legislature won't be done then, but we'll know more. We'll have a better picture.
I agree with you. The only thing I'm worried about is, dang it, the staff and the uncertainty till March. I don't know if that's really fair for employees to not know.
So I shared this plan with the employees. They know. They don't know that the board's going to make a decision till March, because I can't speak for you, but they won't know until May regardless. The uncertainty is the election.
Fair.
And so we're going to lose good teachers.
Right.
Levies fail, you lose good teachers. It's a fact. If you're a rookie teacher, and we have some amazing rookies, we have amazing teachers, but we have some amazing rookies, and they're going to look elsewhere. That's a fact of life. I hate that, but it's what it is.
Like this time frame is the only time that we're going to have to be able to spell it out to the community. Is this what you really want? Once we put it on the levy again, then it all gets confusing, because you know how we're hampered. This is what it's going to pay for, but it doesn't show you exactly what's going to happen. I think we need to start educating the community to make sure this is what they want. We need time for that. That's my opinion. But
We also really need to echo what Tyler said. I mean, we really need to get facts out to the public. There's so much misinformation, and if there's a better way to disseminate that information, we need to figure it out.
After the election, I had somebody say to me, well, you're just piling on more taxes. And I stopped him and I said, do you know that the current levy expires? It stops. We won't, that will go away. And this was just to replace that. Oh, this isn't more? And so there are still people who don't even understand that part. And then I think the $1.80 was very confusing, because they think that we were asking for the same amount of money. Why do you need the same amount of money when you're not as big a district anymore? And I was like, oh, no, pay attention. It was $3 million before. It's less than $2 million now, because it is a smaller district.
I also think it'd be good to get more information on the SRS funds to see if any of that could help decrease the amount of money that we would need.
Mm-hmm. We should,
Okay.
hopefully, 45 days. It's been signed now, so 45 days the state should have the amount of money they're going to have, so we may have a better picture, maybe even by next month. We won't have the money, but we might have a better picture of what we'll get.
Wasn't that already included in the budget, though, when we made the
Yes.
first decision?
It
doesn't
The
change
very
the amount
first
of-
time, we plan to use
the SRS
offset,
anyway.
I think it was $200,000.
$272, I think.
$272,000 of the SRS.
Yeah.
But really, you can't cover it with with the SRS that much, because,
Right.
because when we present something, we have to present something that's sustainable, right?
Right.
Yeah, you can squeak by another 6 months by wiping out all our funds, but we need a sustainable option. If we're not gonna pass levies, we need a sustainable option.
Right.
And people need to understand what the sustainable option is, right?
Yeah.
The Christmas money analogy has been dancing through my head a lot. You know, like when somebody gives you cash for Christmas, you should spend that on something, you know? You should get something. New tires for your car, or
Right.
whatever it is. You shouldn't piddle it away, $5 a week on this coffee and another whatever. You should get something. And so the SRS money should replace a roof. It should replace flooring. It should, you know,
Update
those
HVAC.
buy a new, update an HVAC, buy a new bus, those kinds of things you get,
Mm-hmm.
not some.
Okay, so are we gonna talk about like having town meetings? Are we gonna, how are we getting this information out then if we are gonna do that?
So I met with Lori Palmer today. She's going to do a series of articles. It'll have like the top part of the ballot, like the things that are on the levy. I think there's 6 lines or 7 lines. And so the first week she'll talk about the first line and what that means in the district.
Okay.
And then the next week she'll talk about the next line. So, and then I agree, after you've set your levy, I do think you need to have a town meeting. We didn't this last time. Those are a little frustrating because
Nobody
you
shows
don't
up.
get a lot of bodies. But Kuski got a great turnout. And so maybe that's what our voters want now, more. Maybe that's a change.
How specific will you be allowed to get? I mean, these are numbers, but can you actually identify positions of the work? I mean, yeah, we have,
Well,
we're gonna get rid of
yes.
7
Yeah,
teachers.
yes, I can say
How do you, can
we
you say
won't-
6 of them are gonna be from gyms and 1
Yes.
from, you can
Yes.
say that?
Yes.
Okay,
And
Okay.
like we can say the programs that we won't be able to afford.
programs, yeah.
Mhm. And then, like, here's another thing. Okay, so, one of the big line items, $272,000, I think, is operating expenses, to reduce operating expenses. One of the things that we do in the district is we waive the fee for facilities when we have ASA, or what's basketball? AAU, it's all the alphabet. USA volleyball, AAU basketball, and whatever club wrestling is. Those kids come in and they use our facilities, and we waive the fee for that. If we have to cut our operating expenses, we will have to charge the fee. So every time those kids practice in the gym, have a tournament, whatever, they'll have to pay for that. So that's changing. So the money has to come from somewhere. It comes from the taxpayers, and some people like that it comes from the people that they're using it. But the idea of taxes is that we all share equally in the burden, and so it's not as hard on any individual.
I just had a discussion with a taxpayer this morning, and he pays $186 a year for for the supplemental levy. And he has 2 kids in baseball. So when he first started the conversation, he was like, well, we'll just do pay to play. And I'm like, well, that's going to be like $1,000 each kid. Or you could pay the levy at $186 for the year. I don't know much about math, but I think that's a better deal.
Yeah, so getting that information out to people, maybe the town hall meeting, maybe the newspaper. Not everybody reads the Idaho County Free Press, especially people probably 40 and under.
And so
they're
we're going to
on
make some social media posts,
But I do think
some
maybe
1 minute.
making 1 minute long clips would be beneficial.
Yeah, our last time it was an 8-minute clip. It was way too long. I don't think people listen. And I agree. You know what? I start to watch a video and it goes much past a couple minutes. I stop. We live in sound bites now.
And maybe we need to be at the parent-teacher meetings or something to answer questions, like if, in February, if we're gonna have those. Like,
At parent-teacher conferences?
yeah, parent-teacher
Maybe have
conferences.
a trustee
Like,
or.
maybe just have the trustees there, like, we can answer any questions or meet people, meet the parents.
Mhm. That might be a good night for your, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not ready to
January.
make a decision right now. I think we need a little more information. I keep hearing people say, well, now what are they gonna threaten? Because they can't close a building, or they can't close a school, so now what's the district gonna threaten to cut? So, I don't see it as a threat. I see it as these are the facts. This is the money we have, and
There's a lot of
This is what we
misconceptions out there.
pay for.
I hear it all the time. I mean, they talk about the good old days before we had levies. Well, before we had levies, it was automatic. So the property owners were paying 0.3%, and we're asking for 0.18. So this last levy would have been, we were asking for 1.6. If we were on the old system, the good old days, before levies, the property owners would have paid 2.6 million. And we're asking for 1.6, and they're angry about it, right? It's like, there's just all these misconceptions out there. So we have to be able to get this information to the community just in layman's terms, and not numbers like 4.75 or 48.75 to 41.75. It has to be, this is what it will look like.
In a minute, and I didn't bring this sheet for the Grangeville School District, but in a minute, I'm going to show them, this is the sheet the state uses for funding and how that works. And so, for instance, for kindergarteners, if you have 40 kindergarteners, they will give you one support unit, one teacher for 40 kindergarteners, because they want half-day kindergarten. So that would be 2 units of 20, right? But kids don't come in units of 20. They don't come in nice little units of 20. We have 50 or 60 but you still only get, when you get to 40, you get one teacher. And so, for instance, on Clearwater Valley, I'm stealing your thunder and sharing this information, the state of Idaho will recognize for Clearwater Valley 17.64 teachers, because they use units of 20 to the second grade, and then after that, they use units of 25. And so this is their spreadsheet. This is predicting what they'll recognize for next year. So levies are about, we want better than that for our kids, and so we're willing to pay a little bit more taxes so that we can have better than that. The state doesn't pay for sports, and so if you want better than that, then you have to pony up. And so somehow getting parents to understand it is our local decision. It is the decision that we want something more than the basic that's paid for by the state.
So you're saying if the levy doesn't pass, the kindergartners would have half-day, or would they go Monday, Wednesday, or?
My recommendation, well, I would tell you never to go half-day, because you're running buses in the middle of the day for a
Yeah.
few kids, and that's expensive.
So it'd be like 2 days
So
instead
it'd
of
be
4.
like a Monday, Wednesday for one group, and a Tuesday, Thursday for the other
So the
group.
parents would have an additional daycare cost?
Yes, and so kindergarten is one of the line items on your ballot, and so that would be one of the things, yes, absolutely. We'd reduce to all day, every other day kindergarten.
So it'd be like $60 to $80 extra expense a week? So like $320 extra dollars a month for these kindergarten parents?
Mhm.
Can you come up with a informational sheet like you did prior to the last levy? That when we were in Elk City, you gave a great presentation. Could you come up with some numbers again like that for us,
Mhm.
please?
Yes,
A fact
like on
sheet.
that PowerPoint that I did, I'll do that again.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Am
Okay,
I allowed?
You can chime in.
Wait,
I'll let you chime in.
wait. This is a Grange.
Yeah, but I can call anybody.
He's a patron.
He's not a patron.
You're acting as a patron.
He is not a patron, but
That's fine.
okay.
Okay.
What do you have?
You discussed having a possible town hall. I feel it's only fair, since we paid for the salary for our clerk and superintendent to be at the CV. Oh,
You didn't pay for me.
okay. We paid for
I mean, you
Tracy
did. It's part of my job.
to be there. If you do decide to have it, I think it would only be fair for us to vote the same, paying for you to show up for their
That-
meeting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we can see the effectiveness. We went, last time, how many town halls did we have?
We did like 6, and
I think it
there
was-
were
yeah.
the same 4 people in each one.
You explained it
Carly and
all,
I
and you
and-
go through all of this, and nobody cares.
Shows up.
Nobody shows up.
There was sometimes like.
Now,
2
you guys were
extra.
successful. I'm glad,
They had a
I mean,
great
that was
turnout.
really good what you did, but
one thing too, just my opinion, on the facility use charges, if you want to upset parents, tell them their kids can't go to USA Wrestling practice without paying. I mean, you can do that if you can do that if you want to, but how many people show up at a wrestling tournament? 500 people.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go, nope. We have to do some extra stuff here, so. And I know from here, from tournaments here, the wrestlers do their own custodial work. The only thing I'm not sure about is who provides the toilet paper. So you can do whatever you want, but if you want to upset the public,
You don't want to upset the public.
well, that'd be a good way to get it done.
I
No,
just want
no
to do-
AAU, no USA, no.
Well, that's what we'd have to do. They'd have to pay for every hour. We've
Yeah.
already,
You can see how that goes, I guess. That's why
And,
that's why CV deconsolidated from Grangeville. It's
Oh, yeah.
because we were gonna close this building because of a failed levy, so.
Yeah. Tick people off everywhere.
None of my
Starting
business.
well,
us.
and it's good for you guys to be able to make your own decisions.
Yep.
Oh, I think this is healthier. This is healthier. It's much better. Any other comments?
We just have to do what's best for the kids, because that's why we're here.
Well, and I guess, I mean, are we going to focus on education first, not as much on sports and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, that's what we're here.
I mean, that's,
Reading, writing, or
we're a school first. Is that what we're doing? Okay. But we can figure that out as we move on. All right. Staffing, back to you, Chair.
Mr. Tracy.
Okay, and just like I did with them, I want you to go to the last page first. Okay, so the last page is again, this is the support unit calculation. This is that, we talk about budgets and how budgets work, and this is how the state of Idaho supports schools in paying for teachers. And so that first line there is kindergarten, and the average daily attendance for our kindergarten projected for next year is 9.20. It's funny, we don't have .20 student, I promise you, it's the average daily attendance, so that's what gives us that. And so the divisor is 40 because 20 kids every other day. And so they will recognize, they give us the minimum there of half a teacher. And then grades 1 through 6, because it's less than 300 students in the school, they recognize 86.48 students on the ADA, which would give us 4.99 teachers that they support. And then secondary, that is 10.09. And then exceptional education would be like your counselors. And they support 1 there, which is the minimum for that number. Okay, and so down at the bottom, you have a total of 17.64. And then you see my chicken scratch at the bottom, which is administration. How they figure administration is they take your total support units, that's 17.64, and they multiply it. Their multiplier for an administrator is 0.075, so they would support 1.323 administrators. So this is the scientific numerical, this is what we think you need to have for teaching from the state. We think you can run a school based on these numbers. But back to the numbers, kids don't come in units of 20. It's not how that works. And so then if you turn to the middle page, you see our current staffing. CVE has 20.9 teachers, or staff members. That 0.9 is Melanie, because she's 0.1 at Elk City. So 0.9 administrators, 9.75 certified, and 10.25 classified. Elk City Elementary has 0.1, which is your administrator, 1 certified, 1 classified. Clearwater Valley Junior Senior High, 26.5, 1 administrator, 15.5 certified, and 10 classified. And then district office, their portion, all of those on the Grangeville, it was 0.72. On these, it's 0.28, because that's based on your ADA. If you go down through there, you'll see board clerk, which is 0.28 of the quarter time. And then technology, as I said, we have Michael and Bailey, so we have Michael and then a part-time person. So technology, she would be here, and then Michael would be here, is here. I consider him here about one day every 4 days, 1 out of 4 days. And then, so HVAC, facilities, maintenance, school psych, and school nurse, for a total of 54 employees down here. Then if you go to the front page, some options, certified, because you did pass your levy, and in your levy, I believe you can afford to have your certified staff, as you currently are staffed, at 26.25. We're going to skip over the administration for just a minute, because that's really where your decision is. And then classified, 21.25. And then district office. A lot of these are placeholders, because these are decisions. They're not decisions you have to make today. You don't have to make, as a matter of fact, you can't really make decisions about staffing today, because you still have to wait while your levy is passed. You don't know what your divisor from the state is going to be yet, what they're going to fund. But I'm recommending that you have a single person who is a board clerk, business manager. That's your person that you have in the district office full-time. Then let's look at all of the 0.25s. Those would be shared staff with the Grangeville School District. You have to have a school psych, but you don't need a school psych full-time. That would be 1 day a week, or maybe 2 days 1 week, and because tests sometimes take a little bit longer. So that would be fluid. They'd have a time card where they have hours they spend in Grangeville, hours they spend in Koosky, and you would shoot for about 1/4 of it being here. And then one of the schools would bill the other. So if they were a Grangeville employee, Grangeville would bill Koosky for 1/4 of that employee. If they're a Koosky employee, Koosky would bill Grangeville for 3/4 of that employee. That's all of the 0.25s. 0.5 technology, I'm going to recommend that you have Bailey Schuster, so I'm sorry to be using names, but Bailey here, 0.5, that's half-time, and then Michael, 0.14. So that'd be a day every other week, or maybe 2 days 1 week, and then because technology doesn't happen in units of 1 day either. One lead facilities person, that's your like custodial, 1/4 of an HVAC and 1/4 maintenance lead. So that is my recommendation, going back up to administrator. And these hats can change a little bit. It certainly should change based on who you have for an applicant. We don't know for sure who you will get to apply for these jobs. So you have 2 different options. You could do half-time principal, half-time superintendent, and then you could do the other principal would be half principal, half special education federal programs director. And then your other option, of course, is principal federal programs, principal, and then a half SUP, half special education. Down at the bottom in the district office, you have a 0.25 lead special education teacher. Not every administrator can be a special education director. That's a certification that you have to have. It's different than just being a principal. And so it may be, so that 0.25 special education teacher may end up being a lead SPED teacher, so that she has the proper endorsement, he or she can sign off on IEPs. If the administrator doesn't have a special education background, they can't sign off on those IEPs. If they do, then they can be the special education director. And then also, we have a preschool. We have to provide special education to preschool teachers as well. Not the teachers. Preschool students who qualify for IEPs. And so there would be some hours that we would need for that person as well. So that is 53.37 total. So currently this year you have 54. This is 53.37. But it's not really the same, because some of them are apples and some are oranges, because you have administrators cost differently than teachers, and teachers are different than classified. Really, the thing that you should be making your decision about soon is whether you want to go with two administrator route or the 3 administrator route. I am so conservative. I lean towards start conservative and move the other way. start with 2, and if it works for you, great. If you look at your neighboring schools, CAMI currently has 2 principals and a superintendent, but I believe they're looking at reducing to 2 administrators. I don't know that. I've just heard that. And then I know Cottonwood has a superintendent principal and then a principal. It's not the best. It's not wonderful. It's hard to wear multiple hats, but in small schools you wear multiple hats. Does a lot of information fast.
Is there some way we can advertise for those positions and just see what qualifications that people have and then make that decision?
Yes, you're going to be, kind of your big thing is whether you're going to advertise for a superintendent or if you're going to advertise for a superintendent principal. Regardless, in the spring, you hire what you think is the best. And so in the spring, if you've advertised for a superintendent and the applicant you get looks like would be a better fit for superintendent principal, you hire that way.
Do we need a motion or something to wait, or just put the
You-
job offer out there and see
You'll
what
start
we get back?
advertising in January, so that'll be a January item.
So we can discuss it at our January meeting, or should we plan on something now so that we can
You
start
can
posting
dis-
admin in
I
January?
would recommend you discuss now and discuss again in January and make a decision in January.
Okay, because our meeting isn't till late in the month, though.
You wouldn't offer that position until March or April anyway. It's fine. You're just going to start advertising it in January.
Okay. And before, when I had talked to you about some of this stuff for like the classified additional duties, which was one of my questions, I had asked you if we could advertise some of those needs as like it's a bad term, but like an à la carte thing. Like we need payroll and HR and all the business manager stuff. Then we need federal program stuff and all that. And you said that you can kind of advertise in that sense and then see what qualified applicants meet those different requirements. So you can kind of customize the
Yeah,
position.
I would advertise that position as kind of like, I would list all of those things and then see what you get.
Yeah.
And then, maybe you get somebody who's really strong in human resources and not so strong in the business manager side. You might use those. Those are kind of placeholders down at the bottom to make sure that you have enough people, but not too many people there. So you can switch you could put some of those together and you could switch some around. You just want to be really careful because again, classified and certified, those are different units. They cost differently.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything on there that doesn't make sense to you or that you want more information about?
I think it makes sense to me. I mean, I would err on the side of caution also, just because I think it's better for us to be a little bit conservative starting out. And I would like to see if we can succeed with a principal superintendent combined position. I'd like to see if it's possible.
Well, I think the community would like to see us take a direction to where we're cutting costs somewhere, because we have a year to prove to them that we're going to be financially sound before we ask them for more money. And if we're going to go back to them and ask them for more, the same amount, they may look at it and say, no, you guys didn't do anything any different.
Yeah. Well, I think it's always harder to ask for more and then have to say, no, we have to reduce it. So I would rather start small, and if we have to, ask for more, when it's proven we need it.
Something that kind of weighs on my heart is when you recruit a superintendent, and maybe you'll find one locally, and that'd be awesome, because I like a local employee. But if you recruit somebody to move here, they're moving their family and they're whatever, and they're committing to a community, and then at the end of the year, you're like, turns out we can't afford you.
Yeah,
That's kind of, again, I'd love it if you had somebody local.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't want to do that to somebody. That's why I think it's better to see if we can get by with a combined position. Because to get an independent superintendent, I think we'll have to pay them so much more in salary. And I think that's going to be harder to maintain. So,
I guess a lot of it comes down to what qualifications do the applicants have. And until we start seeing what applicants are available. But I agree, the smaller, start out small.
As you look at this and chew on it, if you have a question, somebody else has that same question, would you just shoot me an email? And then I'll put those together to try to answer for all of you in January.
Okay.
So as you look at it, if the number doesn't make sense, or if you want to switch something around, I can give you that information. Just send me an email and I'll work that out for you.
One other question I have, which I know you can't be specific and you can't plan on anybody's intention for employment, but when we're talking about district office and some of those shared positions, how realistic is it, do you think, that all of those individuals are going to want to work for both Grangeville and
I
Clearwater
think
Valley?
they all want to be fully employed in Mountain View, or Grangeville, my 3 districts. Grangeville doesn't have a full-time position for them. So, and they currently work for the district. It's not really a change, other than their school names will change. Because, like our school site, for instance, already works in the entire district. And so her job wouldn't change. She'd be providing those services.
Okay.
One day
I was
a
just
week down
curious
here
if
and
you'd
the
had
other.
any current staff that was like, no, I wouldn't do that.
I haven't had anybody say that. I just do want to point out the reason for the .25 and .28. It's .28 isn't a day a week. .25 is a day a week, and it just makes it for the tracking a lot easier.
Just one quick question on that. Does the district currently supply a vehicle for them to come down when they do work here at Kuski? So they may seek some sort of compensation for mileage or something.
We would, like, the cost of that employee. I'm using the school site today. I hope she doesn't, if she's watching. The cost of that employee, whether she remained as a Grangeville employee or a Kuski employee, the 1/4 of what that employee costs would be billed to the other district, or 3/4 if they go with, if they stay with Kuski, Kuski would bill 3/4 of that employee's cost to the other district. So that's Percy and trailing benefits and the vehicle expenses if they have to.
Okay.
Do you think that's going to be complicated if Grangeville fails to pass a levy in the spring, or they have stricter financial situations? How difficult is that going to be for us to coordinate on a salary schedule for those people?
We
I'm
might
curious.
pick up a music teacher.
I'm just saying, like, if we're hinging on shared employees, that seems really
Yeah.
complicated, but.
Most of them, it should work out. There's a couple of positions where I have.
Yeah,
It
that's not
may make a
reassuring.
difference, yeah. I'm sorry that doesn't sound reassuring, but I can't
Okay.
predict the future and what'll happen in May.
Okay. Okay,
In one of these, I actually put using my crystal ball. Don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Again, no decision tonight. The only thing is, when you do, and we're gonna have to make that decision about the district office and where it is and whether you wanna move forward with that or not. If you have a principal superintendent, it's going to look normal for parents or whoever to come into that office. If you have a separate superintendent, you're going to need a confidential location where it's not public who's coming in and out of that office. Could you kick that down the road? Could you use the middle school building for a while? Yeah, I suppose you could. Or you could use this office, make this an office here. That gets to be your decision. That's why you guys are paid so much. Again, if you have questions, email me and I will get those on next month's.
I'm good with tabling this till next meeting.
Yeah.
I think you need a
Yeah.
motion.
Okay.
You don't need a motion.
Don't need a
no.
motion.
You guys are good?
Yep.
For a minute.
School board clerk contract. I'll give you some background on this. So, our clerk contract, it runs up the end of this year. So we have to find another clerk, whether it's Mrs. Lind or someone else. We have to decide where to go from here. The uniqueness is she's not part of our district. She's from Canada. So we're bringing an outsider in. I think eventually, this was the discussion last year too, we should do it in-house. I don't know anybody who can do the job at this point in time. So last time I highly recommended that we caper for another year. It was a 3-2 decision to keep her. Trustee Dunn and Minot said no, and the other three of us said yes. So we have to move. We just have to move forward. Do we want to keep our current clerk or move, or find someone else? It's going to cost a little bit more to hire an outsider. But we're kind of in a unique position because we have 10 board members to take care of. In years past, the boards made wrong decisions and it cost the district hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I want to do things right. And so I'm actually going to abstain from this vote because it was attacked in the paper and everything because of this. But, so I don't want to force the issue. I recommend that we keep her for 6 months, and then when we split, find our own in-house clerks. But that's your guys' thoughts.
So when you said that in the past, the district made some bad decisions that cost money, meaning like we made legal mistakes that the clerk didn't catch?
Yes. Hundreds of thousands, right?
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
So I want to do things right.
We need somebody who knows statute,
Yes.
knows Idaho law, knows the rules of what we're allowed to do, not do. Yeah, but I agree with the 6 month. I'd love to get somebody in and training them. If that's something you would consider, if it's somebody local, but I mean, without the levy, I don't know if somebody internal will be leaving in May. That's the other problem, like.
It's kind of
Hard
a
for us,
placement.
our district to know
Right.
if we're gonna, without having passed the levy.
But I guess we can train them, and then if we lose them.
Actually,
Yeah.
yes. My recommendation is that your board clerk becomes an employee of the district because, so those jobs at the current district office are going to shrink because they'll have fewer employees that they're, so human resources, for instance, won't have as many employees. So she'll need more duties and accounts payable won't have as many. So those jobs will shrink and so it makes sense to pull that board clerk in when those duties shrink.
Yeah. It makes sense that we have it in-house. I would have liked Carly Beeler to do it, but she was on her way out last year. She knew the district well, and she could have done it, but she was on her way out. So
Can we
I
put-
really insisted that we keep her for another year. Anyway, what do you got?
Can we just put it out there to the staff? See if anybody has some sort of credentials already? We might have somebody in the 90 people. that-
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I would actually wanted you to comment on this because you're on the other,
Do you want me to finish?
other
what
at
you're
it,
saying?
Oh,
or,
no, it's fine.
okay. Yeah, do you want to
Thank
comment
you.
on this?
Would you ask Madam Clerk if she'd be willing to take a 1-month contract for January? And I can explain my reason for that question if you'd like ahead of time.
A 1-month contract?
For January 2026.
Do you want to explain that now?
Sure. I think out of due respect for the elected individual who is going to be taking my position on the board, is he ought to be included in this conversation. He's physically not even in Idaho County at this point. That's why he is not at the meeting tonight. But I think we're not talking about anything that complicated, but I think he ought to be heard from when this decision is made, because it's one he's going to have to live with. So if you are comfortable asking the clerk if she's willing to accept a 1-year contract, or excuse me, a 1-month contract.
1-month
for
contract?
January 2026, then I'll make a motion.
What do you guys?
Do we
My
want to?
opinion is that he would be living with it for 5 months. This is
Right.
not an eternity.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but I don't think that comes into consideration for me personally.
First, I want to hear from our clerk, Tracy, to see what she wants to do.
Now your time to talk.
I will not accept a 1-month contract.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Chairman Harrington and I have discussed this multiple times. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a contract, But I did agree to do a 6-month. It is in your guys' best interest to have somebody in-house. I mean, I wear 3 hats at CAMI. It's in the best district. I mean, it's in the best just to have it in-house. So I agree.
And that was her idea.
Yeah. I mean, I agree
She
for 6
said
months.
we should have an in-house clerk. That came from her.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
And it's
just-
very difficult to do the clerk job if you don't have your hiring committee making sure they're giving the stuff at the correct time so that they can make the agenda and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, we've made it work for 4 years, and I'm willing to do another 6 months, but only 6 months.
And I think that
Only.
we start advertising in both districts, because you're going to need a board clerk in both districts, levy or no levy. I think we start advertising in January, hopefully get them hired by April, then they have April, May, and June to attend those meetings and shadow the clerk. They can see what the process is. In another district that I worked in, that other person came to the meeting and had their own computer and literally kept the minutes separately, and then they compared so that they could make sure that they had done that and watch the action of the open meeting laws and you know, whether we can, what we can talk about in executive session and what we can't. And so for both districts, you could start that application process and hire in April and
And in 6 months, the job will simplify. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a
Yes.
much more
Yeah,
complicated
it's
endeavor at this
complicated
point in
now,
time.
and we have a lot going on between both districts, and I think the continuity of a clerk who is very skilled at keeping us in line legally is what we need.
I agree with that, because I don't think any of us on either board are legally adept to this job yet, especially on our new board. None of us have done this before, so I personally feel like it would be a big mistake with everything else that we're making decisions on to also have no guidance or support from an experienced
And
clerk, so.
I'm just going to point out, Tracy was elected, or recognized as the Idaho State Board Clerk of the Year in 2024, 25. So she's recognized among her own peers as knowing her job.
And you don't have a twin?
It's all me.
Just throughout the time that I've been involved in it all, I've seen clerks that were truly secretaries that were thrown into the position and didn't know the rules, and then we get in trouble, and then then the legal expenses come, and then it's like 10 times what we pay Tracy, and then, yeah, it's not just a secretary taking notes job, it's a Idaho law job, truly.
Big time.
So.
Trustee Teets?
I'd like to make a motion that we offer Tracy a 6-month extension on her contract.
I have
She has a
there was a
contract.
contract in the packet for you guys.
We'd have to accept her
Approve that
contract if we want that. Trustee Dunn, do you have any more comments?
No, thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Okay.
Does it need to read different than that because of?
What do you mean? My contract
to accept her
reads,
contract.
my contract reads from, it's raised a little bit, then it reads from January to June.
Okay.
January.
So January 1st to June 30th.
Do we need to change that you're gonna also be training somebody, sort of, okay. You don't need to add that as
I
a,
don't think so. And then I included all 3 districts in the top of it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
Nay.
And I'll abstain. All right.
Thank you.
Approval of athletic, it's turned to you. Approval of athletic fee increase.
Commissioner
Oh, yeah.
Commissioner Allen is back here. Commissioner rates in Idaho have gone up and officials' rates have gone up. And so there's a proposal among both leagues, both the league that recognizes Clearwater Valley and the league that of Grangeville. Oh, my 3 names. That we raise rates at the door, or gate fees. So Clearwater Valley's would be adults $7, students and seniors $6, elementary students $5, and 5 and under free. And Grangeville's it's not in here. Tracy, do you have that email?
For what?
For Grangeville's rate?
Grangeville never sent me rates, they just said that they needed to add on, so I didn't put any rates on.
Oh, gosh, I'm
Did we
sorry.
get one?
Because we won't be able to do Grangeville's.
Hang
then.
on.
Did you?
Hang on.
Okay.
I saw it somewhere.
Well, Clearwater Valley can go ahead because theirs is a separate. I know they can't with
So-
their, sorry, Tracy can't do both, sorry.
There's not much to discuss, right?
I
So-
might have been board clerk of
so
the
if we
year, but
wanna
I
have
am not. I
referees,
can't do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
We have to have officials, I mean, it's
Right.
just the way it is.
Fees went up, we have to charge more.
You on board with that, DJ?
Can I yell at him more?
It's okay with me.
Always.
It's on an individual basis, I think.
So somebody want to make a motion to accept?
It was 8.5.
I'll make a motion that we approve the athletic fee increase.
Hold on. Let me get back to that. Okay. Siren? Okay.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I have what you need.
And we do have Grangeville's rates, sorry.
Yep. I'm sorry, Erin, was that you?
Yes.
Quick clarification before we move on. This gate fee that we charge, is it going all back to the district?
It goes to it stays in the school, yes. So like gate that's collected at Clearwater Valley High School stays at Clearwater Valley High School.
Okay.
And what
And
your
we
gate goes towards, Vinnie or Alan?
Gate goes towards officials and sports equipment, but it's mainly officials. The commissioners were at our last Board of Control meeting in Clarkston for District 2, and the cost of officials are going to go up 3 to 4%. So to help cover those costs, that's why the dollar increase on everything.
But I think his question was, where does the money go? And the gate is collected here at the school and
Yes,
kept here
correct.
at the school.
Correct.
And does it go in,
It doesn't go to the district office
goes
general
into that
fund, it
sport,
stays
right?
at.
What's that?
does it go into that sport specifically? Or just the,
It helps pay for officials across the board.
okay.
So like when I go into Dragonfly and I pay officials for all home contests, that's where that money helps go to pay for officials.
Okay. And then did you have the rates for Grangeville?
I do. I found them. So Grangeville was $8 for adults, there's no change on that, she's saying. $5, $1 increase for senior citizens and high school and middle school students, and elementary $5. It was 8 and under free. Do you want me to repeat that?
Yeah.
Okay, $8 adult, no change. $5, so a $1 increase for senior citizens and high school students. And middle school students and elementary was $5, and then 8 and under was free. This is to cover the cost for sports-related expenses. If we have sports, she says.
So the CIL, like Grangeville's league, we're White Pine League, their league already had higher fees than us to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's why it's not as big of a change.
yeah, they were already
Okay.
above what we were.
Sounds good. I was just in Priest River a few days ago for a basketball game, and they charged $10 for an adult. So I think $8 is still good.
Why didn't you not use your
Oh, I did.
card?
I did. I just took note of that.
Only,
Yeah.
So you need a motion.
I do.
No, it's
No.
back to you.
Oh, it's us? Oh,
I
okay.
make a motion
Make a
to
motion.
approve the athletic fee increase.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Set January 26th board meeting. January 15th, does that work for everybody?
Do we need to set the board meetings through June, or we're just doing month at a time?
So at the January board meeting, you will set February through June to finish it out, and then you'll do it again in July.
Okay.
But this one you need to set so that we know when we're done.
I make a motion to set the January 2026 board meeting to January 15th at Grangeville High School.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion or any conflicts? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 June 15th. Okay. Approval of out-of-state travel and overnight stay.
And that should be Clearwater Valley.
CV wrestling team.
Let's see.
Okay.
So the CV wrestling team is going to Joseph, Oregon, and
But that's,
you'll see
that's
these-
happening this year. So
Yes.
it'd be Mountain View, under Mountain View.
Oh, I guess it would, I apologize.
But that's fine.
And so anytime students go out of state, they have to do these approvals.
Well, can I ask what part of that, I mean, obviously busing, but what part of that do we pay for?
What part of it do we pay for?
Yeah, like, do we pay for hotels or what do we, no, just busing?
Alan? What part of that trip for the wrestling team to go to Joseph, Oregon, what part does the district pay for? Thank you.
If you're sticking with the busing that was done last year, the $750 coming from the club team, for varsity, JV and all that. So if operating on last year, it would be the busing. They don't pay for, you guys don't pay for hotels, that's fundraising, that's all on the wrestlers. I guess you would generally entry fee to the tournament is a district, has been a district cost, it's associated with the sport. But generally, as far as I know, it's just busing.
Busing in the.
And the driver, that's busing.
Yeah. And so just because I'm curious, how many kids are going to this?
Now, it's on average about 9, but it also depends on grade checks and who's eligible. I mean, it's fluctuated a little bit, but it's around 9 kids and 2 coaches.
So if, just for instance, because I don't know what the rules are, if parents were interested in parent transporting to this tournament, are there liability concerns with that? And so because I was asked this, so if there are liability concerns with that now, where were those concerns 2 years ago?
I don't know. It was the first thing I did when I came on as superintendent, is say, you are opening the door for the ugliest lawsuit you've ever had in your life.
Okay.
And so Carly and I sat down and figured out what it was going to cost the district and made the proposal that if each team pays a little bit of the transportation, we'll bus it. I was at St. Mary's High School on a dark January night when some kids who had been former students of mine at GEMS pulled in a car to come play basketball, and I couldn't breathe to think that we had children driving up there. That's a terrible drive if you've been there. And so.
But I mean, if the parents transport, is that still, because that's still an option,
Because
right?
they're.
Like, even when there's a bus go and parents
Not
can
two. They can sign out their kids and take them home, but they can't drive two.
But we did that for a little while.
We did for a while.
Because we didn't have the money.
Right. Right. Anyway, I was just curious. So, we need a motion to,
I do,
Approve
but
the
you're gonna
out-of-state.
have to wait, for one of your trustees to come back, because you need,
Oh.
yeah. Sorry.
Want to try to pass it out?
Yeah.
We have a motion?
can I make it?
Who made it?
I will make a motion.
Make a
Make what
motion now?
motion?
Approve the out-of-state travel for,
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Oh, you go.
All right, I was on the
Who's
wrestling
gonna take it?
team, so
I'll second it.
You are. Got
I'll
it.
second it.
You are.
Sounds good. All in favor?
Aye.
Good to go.
Checking things off.
All right, now I will turn it over to you for the approval of transformer replacement.
So did you guys read the bid proposal for that?
Yeah, it's like 55,000.
54 or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that would be an appropriate use of our facilities fund. From, I have a terrible name, I can never remember. Thank you, school modernization funds. Thank you, Connie.
So what's going on exactly?
So we have transformers that currently belong to the district, and they have aged out. They need to be replaced. Avista says, we don't want them to belong to you. They want to own them because then they can roll up and repair and take care of them. So in order for us to get rid of our old transformers that aren't good anymore, and for them to set the new ones, we have to bring some power to them and have some concrete pads and one concrete wall in place. So we prep the site, basically. They'll come and remove the old ones and put in theirs, and then they will maintain their transformers moving forward. And if they need to be replaced, they replace them. If they need to be worked on, they work on them. It's not cheap. The ones at Grangeville High School have been done already. The reason for that is because that transformer was right by the building, and so it was a safety concern. So it had to be prioritized, and now getting these done will get them taken care of.
When will this work be done?
In June. That's why when I mentioned that there's a transformer project that may keep Clearwater Valley High School without power for 3 weeks, that's this project.
Okay.
It was, the one in Grangeville was 3 days or 4 days that they were without power, and there's more than one here, so.
All right. I will make a motion to approve the transformer replacement at CV.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Motion carried?
Yep.
Thank you. It's still you guys.
Okay.
What's your next agenda item?
Our 2000 policies.
This is just the
The final reading.
final reading.
Does anybody have any other discussion on it? I think we've already gone over it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Isn't this the one that they just,
I have to
they just did it?
I don't think I can make a motion.
It was new, and then we
No,
just
because you're the
gave-
chairman,
Yeah.
so it's gotta be.
So somebody else has to do it.
I make a motion that we approve the 2000 series in the final reading.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Approval policy series 2000. Any further comments?
I make a motion.
Make a
that we
motion.
Approve, policy 2365.
Okay.
2635.
Trustee Dunn, did
Yeah.
you hear that?
You'll second that? Any other discussion?
Just, are we gonna implement this for
It says, the last sentence of the policy says that the weighted grade policy will be applied for the purposes of determining academic standing for beginning with the graduating class of 2030. So it's next year's freshman.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Back to you guys.
Okay, this is series 3000 policies. This I think had to do with the masks being
As-
stricken from the.
Right, as you recall, there was the discipline policy that we set aside for right now because we're not ready to do it, and then there were the 2 parking policies that you said you didn't need, so we set those aside. But then there was 2 paragraphs that needed to be stricken from this policy.
Any discussion on it?
Stricken?
No.
I don't
Struck.
think we need masks, so.
No.
All right.
I'll make the motion to approve the 3000 series policies 3901.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approval of policy series 3000. Any comments? Have a motion?
This is the third reading.
Third reading. Okay. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the series 3000.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
I'm going to turn this back over to CV. I will note that I have a suggestion on 4105 that we're going to make in Grangeville, but you can take that for what it's worth.
I have a lot of notes on these
Okay.
policies. I don't know who wants to start.
Go ahead.
Okay.
May I make a suggestion?
Yep, mhm.
Just for timeliness?
Yep.
If there are, like, let's say there's 5 of them that you
Mhm.
have some questions about, make the motion to accept the others, and not those, and then send those corrections or questions to me, and then we just do them as a second read next month, and we don't spend
Okay,
forever
but how
here.
can I address whether or not the other board members agree with my
We could
opinions?
go over it really quickly, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, like, don't worry about the discussion, the long
Okay,
discussion.
yeah, I
about it.
understand. I just don't want to say, I want this changed without any other input.
Yep.
The ones that I had questions on, and some of it's not major, but on 4105, and some of it was little. I found Mountain View School District in them in a few places.
Ooh, yeah.
So
we
yeah,
can
on the
look at-
back of 4105, it says mail to the board clerk at 714 Jefferson Street, Grangeville. So I just did little stuff.
Yeah, and you can, if that's all that one is, you can still make the motion to approve it, and then that
Okay.
can just be changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 4135. Go to that one. I dog-eared all my pages I have edits on. Okay, so on 4135, same thing, Mount View School District just needs updated.
Oh, okay. You don't need to strike that.
4175. So this one I had a few, let's see, 4175. So this one and then pretty much the next, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the next 8 policy segments, 4175 through 4225. I had notes on all of them just because I think my general interpretation and opinion on some of the policies is that it was a little bit, there was too many places where it said, like, organizations shall pay, which to me means you are going to pay. And there was like specific language on if there's no other facility, that kind of thing. There was a lot of that stuff, but I think when we were part of Mountain View School District, there are a lot more facilities with that larger population base in Grangeville that could substitute for using school facilities, whereas CD School District does not have all those options, like Elks Lodges and community halls and senior centers and gyms and all that stuff. So I would like to see a little bit more may and like the enforcement of the deposit for damages and not necessarily fees. So that's kind of my,
That was 4210, right?
yeah, like I said, I have.
4210B.
So,
Yeah.
so if you mark those up and give them to me, then next month when they go back to you guys, they can be red marked, and then you can make that decision. So
Okay.
those are like suggested edits, and then they make that decision whether they want that.
So
or
I
not.
can send you my suggested edits and then we'll go over it next month, or
Yep.
do you share it with them before?
Well,
So they can give input also?
I can send them out. You guys, anytime you have one that you don't want to approve, you can send me suggested edits, and then it can just go to the next month.
Okay, I was just wondering if they could look at my edits before then without me communicating with them directly. Okay, all right.
Can she send them to you?
She
the
sends them to
clerk,
me,
Back out
and
to
then
us?
we'll turn them back out to you.
Okay, yeah, because it was pretty lengthy. I had a whole bunch.
Yep.
So can we just,
So make
Or
a
any
motion
of
to
them.
approve all of them except?
So here, this is, I have.
I don't think any of them are acceptable as is, except for, like she said, the 4105 was just an update, and 4135 was just an update. And I would be curious to hear what their opinion was on 4105. Can we
Yeah.
ask for that?
Yeah, I can tell you now. If you go to 4105, page 2 of 3, section I, it says, because of the diversity of issues, members of the board will not respond to public comment. Like 99% of the boards across the US operate that way. I find that policy right there causes a lot of tension in the community. And so when people state a comment or ask a question, to simply just have a quick answer, it relieves a lot of tension. So we've been operating that way. So I don't know if you, like, I would change it.
Will to May?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I wrote a quick thing. The board does not typically respond to public comment. If a question is asked by an individual during public comment, the board may choose to briefly answer the question during the individual's 3-minute time slot, or may postpone discussion on the subject until the public discussion section at the end of the meeting. So in other words, if you can answer it quickly and it's good, like you did today, do that in their, time slot, or we can just say, hey, we'll answer that at the end of their meeting. That goes a long way towards PR, so.
Oh, I totally agree. I think that's always been largely misunderstood by the public, and they think we just don't want to talk to them, which is not the
Yeah, and
case.
they're so frustrated, like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not,
agree.
they
But
felt
we,
unheard,
so we may respond. Should we also put in, if the board so chooses to give a response? I mean,
Or
because
the
none of us
chair.
can speak on behalf of the board, right?
Or
Isn't that the whole
chair
point?
allows,
Yeah?
because isn't the chair supposed to run the meeting?
Yeah, it's at the chair's discretion, but here it just says you don't do it, but.
I see what you're saying.
Tracy, what are you thinking, like legally wise? Is that fine that we allow the chair to make that decision?
So you may not want to operate that way.
Question came from Melissa.
I'm taking on
Yeah.
that responsibility, or
I honestly think if you change the word to
Liability.
may, you've covered that.
I think
and
it
that
depends
would
on
be
the
fine too.
topic of the question.
I honestly, that was my first thing, just cross it out and put may.
Yeah, if
That
it's
would be
something
fine.
simple that I feel like you can give them an answer that's not controversial or up for debate, I feel like it's good communication, but
So can I just say what I know?
yes, yep.
So I have attended multiple, I don't even know how many trainings with the Attorney General's office, and their exact words are, the public is receiving a ticket to the show. It's your public meeting, not a meeting. It's a meeting in public, it is not a public meeting. So take that as you may. They're receiving a ticket to the show.
Yeah.
But-
I'm just saying
But
that-
if it's our show.
Yeah, we
right,
have
it's
the
our
discretion.
show, we can engage that, correct? Like, we're not violating law by engaging the public during our meeting.
Idea would be that you're discussing something that's not on the agenda.
Yeah, you need to be very, very careful.
It needs to be-
And your
it needs
clerk
to be
is
on the
going to
agenda.
have to make sure you stay within that topic.
I see.
Um,
Well, and what if your comment, I mean, you could simply be responding to them by saying, thank you, we appreciate your concern, that's something that we can address. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a decision-type response, but more of a recognition or appreciation, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, you can do that, right? Recognize and appreciate, but not.
Well, you
Yeah,
don't
you
want
can
people
always
just
say
standing
thank
up
you.
blurting things either, so I think it's a fine line, but I think having the chair be able to recognize someone's question or something on the topic at hand, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
with the discussion having to be on the agenda, I think the ideal, or the safe response would be, we'll get it on the agenda for next meeting to discuss this. If
See what you're
it's,
saying. If it's off topic.
yeah.
Yeah, I see. I don't know, I think that's a good suggestion. Maybe we need to look at how we word it for us, but so we can table that one also.
Do you want to strike through on that one?
So how about do you guys agree to that? If we table that one and then the other ones I had questions on? Is that okay?
Okay, so-
I have some corrections on 4600P that I can just send out.
4600P.
On volunteer assistance?
Okay. Okay, so now this is what my notes say, that you're going to
These are all the ones
approve
that I don't,
except for 4105,
correct.
4175, 4200, 4210, 4210F, 4210F1, 4210F2, 4210P, 4225, and 4600P. Did I catch all of them?
That's what I
Got mine.
have.
You got mine.
Okay. And then on those, if you send them to me, I can make those corrections and send them back out to you.
Okay.
And you're not deciding on them, I'm just giving you time to consider them before the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'll make a motion then that we approve the Series 4000 policies for the first reading with the exception of policies 4105, 4175, 4200, 4210, 4210F, 4210F1, 4210F2, 4210P, 4225, and 4600P.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You guys are good? Series 4000. Any comments on that?
4105, you already talked about.
Okay, can we
Yeah,
just
but
strike that one?
I can't make a motion. So,
No, but you want to, you want that one struck, for one of your ones you want struck, right?
yeah, that would
Okay,
yeah, that'd be
all
fine.
right.
Yeah.
I got one so far. Do you need to wait for B?
Probably should. Well, I guess we'll be all right. Vice Chair Dunn, do you have any comments on the 4,000 series?
No, sir.
Okay.
For B,
I think we could make a motion.
make a motion that we approve the 4,000 series with the exception of 4105.
Do we have a second?
I will second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
I abstain.
Oh, okay.
Abstain,
Thank
would still
you.
pass. Yep, still pass. All right. Informational items. Official logo. Can we put that up?
Can you, do you have it, Connie, that you can display? Hello, Michael's coming. I was gonna hold it up, but bam. I think Idaho Ed News did an article.
They did.
Is it out?
I saw it, yes.
She interviewed me, I just didn't. And they're awesome. I love them.
Either one.
Michael put his up first.
I like it.
Oh. So you do want me to hold it up like Vanna?
Yeah. I'm sure it's in there. While he's pulling that up, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
On the policy stuff, when we're going over that, you want us to just send that to you right away so that you can resend that out, or?
Yeah, if you, I mean, you don't have to go home and do it tonight.
No, but I mean, like, on the next series of policies that we go through, is it better just to send that out before? Because we get our packet.
Mhm. Actually, you should probably say the ones that you're not comfortable with in the public meeting, and then send the recommendations and then approve them at the next one. And things that are typos, like the Mountain View or whatever, you don't have to hold a policy for that. You can just say, hey, I noticed, by the way, this one still says Mountain View. But if there's a substantive change, absolutely. May to shall is a big change, or shall to may is a big change.
You pass that over to Travis, please. Thank you.
Well, while they're looking for that, should we just move on to?
Yeah.
Trustee position on a crisis
Thank you very
team?
much.
So we hired, what's the AFD?
On our, we have a district-wide crisis team, and last month, I believe it was TJ that approved, that volunteered for Clearwater Valley to be on the crisis team.
Okay.
And Trustee Dunn volunteered for Grangeville, but with Trustee Dunn's position ending at the December 31st, we'll need a new representative from Grangeville.
Who will it be?
Anybody?
What
anybody like to-
does this entail?
It's a
It's a-
virtual meeting about once a month.
If there's
for an
an, if
hour,
there's an
so-
emergency, it's like how to respond to an emergency. Like if there's a shooting or,
Mhm.
you know, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Well, Trustee Dunn is on it, but
He can't be, because of
He's gonna be done.
confidentiality, he can't be on it after December 31st.
So should we wait? Do we have, okay.
You can do it now.
I'm on the slogan, or the
Mission vision.
Statement. I mean, I can do it.
You certainly can wait until you have a full,
You might not have a full board for
Board?
90 days.
well, that's
Yeah.
true, that's true.
That's true.
It's a once a meeting virtual, or
About once a
virtual.
month virtual for about an hour.
I can do it.
Because I
Thank you.
put you up to the other thing. So I will, if you were overwhelmed, listen, I don't want you to like do too much, because I'm being quiet. It's you. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it. If you're okay doing it, I won't do it.
It's not a 4-year. I mean, I can, yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
If she does
Thank
that,
you.
she does that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I was hoping I didn't have to be the one to do it. Okay. I guess another announcement, SRS pass, Secure Rural Schools passed, and Trump signed it into office today. Okay. Anything else? Oh, there's our logo.
There it is.
All right.
Logo.
Got the Clearwater Valley one, yay.
Public discussion.
Oh, do I miss that my timer? Minute?
Did we have some sign-ins?
Any comments or?
No, they just,
Yeah.
How we will be filling the one who requested position. Do you want me to do that?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so at the January board meeting, that position will be declared vacant. And the board will make a motion to do that. At that time, that gives me the authority to actually run and I'll have Lori from the newspaper just put a little blurb in the paper saying there's zone 2 at Grangeville School District is open. Please submit your resume if you're interested. You have to live within that zone. I think it's the first 90 days. Is that what it is? And then once you start getting resumes, you can hold a special meeting at any time. I will have a set of interview questions that ISBA actually gives you that you ask the potential trustees. And that meeting is actually held in public, so you could have a full audience as you are interviewing potential trustees.
now nobody's going to apply.
I'm sorry. It's open.
To sell it.
Now, at that time, let's just say nobody puts their name in after that 90 days. In that zone, it'll open up to the whole entire district of Grangeville to put a name and to fill in for the remainder of the year. So yeah, you could potentially have a 4-member board for 2 weeks or 6 months.
Are we obligated to take, say only one person applies? Are we obligated to?
Well, it's probably in your best interest. If you receive a resume, you probably should interview them because they are a patron of your district and they are a taxpayer.
Okay, and isn't that one a 2-year term?
No, it'd go back to the 4, wouldn't it?
That's appointed, so it automatically has to run again at the next.
It'd run again at the.
Anybody
I'd
who's
have to look.
not elected has to run at the next election.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
okay.
So would that be the May election?
Well, no, because
No, the
Jamie's-
next November.
Jamie was up for election. Was yours a 2-year term or a 4-year term?
we're all 6-month interim.
Yeah.
And then, right?
No, this last
No,
election.
no,
But in
at
November.
November.
In
In November.
At November, it should have said if it was 2 or 4, and I'd have to look that up and see.
But
Zone
any
2 and 4
appointed,
are 2
but
year.
any appointed one has to.
What's that?
Zone 2 and 4 are 2 years.
Is that what they are?
Cycle, yeah.
Okay, so it'll be a 2-year. Mhm. So there'll be a little blurb in the newspaper I'll ask Lori to do, after you guys declare it vacant. Does that answer the question? Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I believe
Is it so cold in here?
June, sometime there was an article in the paper talking about how we extended the superintendent's contract through December. That was this December, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
What are we doing after this December?
So the reason that was only a half of a year is so that if we had an applicant, that they could hire him and get him on board. We don't have an applicant that's ready. And so at the January meeting, the board has the opportunity to go without a superintendent or to offer the position again. And then, again, another 6-month contract, 5-month contract ending June 30th.
Big picture, what we're thinking is she will take a month off we want her back for another 6 months.
Or if somebody comes along, if a great superintendent comes along, help out the district.
Yeah.
Not try to vote for it now.
Yeah.
Is there an application?
Oh,
The application's online on the district's website.
Yeah.
You have to be able to hold a superintendent credential.
be nice.
So in January, will you come with a contract then that we'll approve like we did for Tracy?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I cannot develop my own contract. I have to have a certified contract that's developed by the state of
Oh,
Idaho.
because you're not an outside contractor. Okay. Got it. But we will review that in January.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Anything else?
Do you know who that man is?
Well, you can know.
I would like to hear from Vinnie on that
Do you know who
shop
that man is in the
program and stuff that we're having a meeting January 17th.
So, yeah, the response is going to that Cardinal Manufacturing, the guys in Greenville. And we talked about just having a community meeting, discussion, thoughts of where we're at, and where we'd like to go and get community feedback. And see if there's any partners out there that want to help out. We have community members stepping forward to help spray, paint the inside, equipment, not donations of equipment, but equipment use and donated in kind of time. And so in trying to get all those resources together and all on the same page and everybody understanding where we're at and where we want to go and actually get some feedback. It's not, there's no hard decisions been made. And so that January 17th is Charlie and I have that day available to come let people visit and tour the shop, talk with them, and it'll be basically a little pre-wrap of what I presented to you on that board meeting on PowerPoint. It's really to see the community interest, start getting calls in from the outside. How can I help? What can I do? Where is your volunteer sign up application and that kind of stuff. So we thought if we could get them all in the same room, visit with them, see what, market research in some regards, what the community wants, what direction to go. And so that's really what that's about. To keep the Steve and Garner moving in a direction.
So that's Saturday, January 17th?
That's correct.
At what time?
I believe it's 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the shop, I
Let
think?
me do it real quick, I don't want to miss it.
Okay.
So I need to know, if you guys are planning, if I have a quorum attending, I need to know so I can post for that. Otherwise, you guys will be an open meeting law violation. So please let me know the first week of January if a bunch of you are going, so I can post for it. Okay?
Okay, so, because I don't know, when you say quorum, does that mean
3 or more of you.
3 or more?
Mhm.
So if only 2 of us are going, we're
You're fine.
okay? Okay.
Then, by saying that, I'm gonna highly, even though there's only 2 and you're not breaking any laws, don't sit next to each other. Just don't. Just don't.
There you go.
Time was 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the shop, okay.
And, well, the plan was to start here and then go out to the
Oh.
shop, a little more seating area, and then walk out.
And a quick question on moving the stuff so they can paint? I asked Alyssa already, but can that program have access to that back shop for storage of some equipment while they're painting?
When you say back shop, you mean behind the bus?
Where the lawnmowers live?
I,
That belongs to maintenance, so,
I don't, that maintenance is not under building principles.
Right.
You know, that's one of those where.
We got a couple,
if
2 more minutes.
My idea, my thoughts,
And then
the students, and that's a place where those
Adjourn.
things can go for a period of time to get.
Short
the
time,
work
well-
done that we need to get done.
Is that where they store the paper? Is that what you're talking about?
I think he's talking back where like.
The lawnmowers
Behind the
and-
bus shop, there's another storage, another
shop.
wing of the bus
Oh,
shop.
oh, okay.
It has like.
Yeah, I think just
Diamond
make
Drive.
sure maintenance knows that you're going to and the timeline that it's going to be there. It'll be fine.
I would think it would be.
I mean, don't just go plug it in there because they
It's
may
not-
have some
it's-
big plan, but
It's just
Just-
a place to put things
Yeah.
that are in the way?
just
Well,
for a
while
short,
you're
yeah.
So-
painting, yeah.
And so that said, do you have access, a key to
I should have,
Okay.
I should have access and a key to there, but then again, don't quote me, I'm not totally sure.
It just
I
sounds-
found a couple places that I don't have access.
It sounds like that might, some of that could happen over break, moving that stuff, so
Okay.
we just need to, if
Yeah,
it's
one-
okay.
One more minute, it looks like. Any other questions, preferably pertaining to what was on the agenda, but anything else?
It's not on the agenda, but can I make a question? Even though I'm not public?
Yes.
When are we going to start talking about missions, vision statements, and pooling community input? Like I'd emailed you about that.
Yeah, I thought that you and the principals, did you talk to Vinnie and Melanie about that? I'll
I
ask
thought
them.
I was supposed to go through you. I was like trying to follow
No,
the chain
it's
of
the
command.
principal,
Okay.
the two districts are going with the principals to work on the mission vision, because
Okay.
they're going to be in
So
the district.
just not go
I'll
through
ask
you
them
and
to
talk
reach out
directly to
you.
them?
Yep,
Okay.
I'll ask them to reach out to you about it.
Okay, thank you. That was it.
Where's the logos go?
What was that?
Well, they were up.
Show us the logo.
Oh, they were up.
They were up there.
It was up there.
We can put it back up.
Shut it down. That's just, I mean, that was your final decision?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that, we decided last month, that's what it was.
Yep, wrap it up and we'll. Okay.
That's your 10 minutes.
On the district website, application portal for a superintendent. So any applicant would have to know to go to the SBA website or ISBA.
No, it's on the website.
Getting on here in the live zone, I don't see that. And that's not to say,
Okay. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
It's right here, Vinnie. Now hiring superintendent of schools.
Okay, so your laptop and your, charger, you can keep it till December 31st. You can keep it till the 31st of December, but then I'll need it back. So